you. Okay, so I'd like to warmly welcome you all to this retreat, a World Benefactor, and I would just like to create time for a couple of quotes. This one is from Francis of Assisi, and he had many quotes on this topic. One is, "No one is to be called an enemy. All are your benefactors, and no one does you harm. You have no enemy except yourselves." You can see someone nodding there. Of course, we understand it is the Raven within, but quite interesting. This is a Scottish proverb. Charity begins at home, but it should not end there. So let's see where this topic goes and what it means at the subtle level and how it may affect our lives, and look forward to hearing your thoughts, questions. I hope the sound is fine. So I'm going to now hand over to you, Prashant, and welcome. Good morning.
Thank you. And hello and good morning. And very nice to connect again. Let us create a few minutes of attention. And just a quick revision for us. Our idea of attention. We bring our best sight and best intellect. Why do we need to do this? Because our world is as if there is a blackout. Day in and day out, we are as if drowning in the story world. That's why we need light and sight and intellect so that we can see the bigger map. This is our idea of yoga, meditation. So when we are seeing in this full light, we are seeing that there is a big reality. There is a story, but there is a much bigger world. And there is the true family and true home. Something so central, and as if we were without a family and without a home all this time. We are rediscovering our true home. And we are discovering the true Father. But even more relevant, we are discovering the true self. And when we are seeing this, we are also seeing that the whole world, day in and day out, the world that we've been thinking about and worrying about, that is a story. Fixed, repeating story. So I have the right attitude towards the story. This environment of light that helps the true self to become conscious. And that's why this is a good starting position for any of our activities. Let the true self, soul, be conscious. Until then, the ego is conscious. And it also means ego rules our life. Now the soul is conscious. True self is conscious. And for the true self, priorities are different. He sees things differently. Ego priorities are different. For the true self, to start with, that invisible presence, to be that presence that is normal. To be just that tiny point that is normal. To be immortal, that is normal. To belong to that supreme sky, that is normal. Just like for the Father, to be incorporeal, it is normal. He is not making effort to be incorporeal. Same for the true self. It is natural and normal. He understands his complete independence from the story. There is a story, he knows the story, just as anyone knows if he's listening to a story or watching a story, he knows his complete independence. Same, the true self knows complete independence from story, but story includes this scene. This Zoom and this gathering is also within the story. Prashant is also within the story. And the true self knows his complete independence from Prashant. Independence means it is not an extension of each other. They are different, its roots are different. It is a loose association, if at all. Just as you are watching a story, it is a loose association. Sakshi. We check from morning today how often and how long we've been in this space of seeing this independence. How long the soul was conscious. Soul is conscious necessarily means there is independence experienced. If it is mixed, we may be talking of the soul. If it is mixed, then ego is conscious. As we continue with our journey, we remain aware of this simple, basic awareness, the true self, and this big reality beyond the story. Our world is alaukic, unearthly. It is not gross. This physical world is very gross. Our world is invisible, subtle, divine, eternal. That's why unearthly, alaukic. Thank you. I'll be using the board. So you will be seeing the board any moment. And within this, we quickly remind of our some simple things we've been discussing in the past. We are saying that we have a home. We are reminding that this is not just academic. This is our home. And that's why it is emphasis, and this is we are representing our true form. And here is the true family. This is the world of the Father and the family. Small little world of the Father and the family. It's a happy world. It is complete. And we see that there is a extra. Their world is complete, eternal, auspicious, which means they don't even have experience of desire. They don't have experience of any kind of sorrow. So what remains is silent bliss. That's why small little world of the Father and the family. And it is a happy world, it is content world, auspicious world. It is a world of Ram. And this world, what we are seeing here, this is the extra. It is a great story, circus, the PlayStation. It is nice. It is anything extra. It's like I'm sitting here and there's a cloud there. And cloud goes and there is a rainbow. It is extra. It should not give me sorrow. But it is possible I create attachment to that rainbow and then unhappy rest of the day because that rainbow is gone. So that is my problem. Something similar happens here. This is extra, this beautiful blue box. And we have the option to have the right attitude towards this. And the whole chaos is because of the wrong attitude. So that's what we are addressing. We are not saying that we should change the cloud or we should stop the rainbow disappearing. We are not saying that. We are saying, what is my attitude? Because if that attitude is not changed, then sorrow is guaranteed. Because the nature of this world is unpredictable. Just like rainbow, you know it is not going to stay there forever. It is going to change. Law is like that. It is change is destined, and end is destined. So everything is going to go, and it is the details. You can't rely on anything anywhere. But that's fine. It is not a problem. As long as this invisible princess remains sensible. That is all that's required. So today our subject this week, this time, is benefactor. So to bring about benefit, we first need to know where I'm intervening. In Greek mythology, there is a goddess Panakia, goddess for universal remedy. But her brother, and his name is, do you know the name of her brother? Goddess Panakia. What's the name of her brother? Who knows Greek mythology? Yeah, feel free to make any comments or questions. And that is the idea behind this.
And someone's typed diagnostico.
That's right. Yes, very good. So brother was diagnostico, and so he was useful to know what exactly is going on. Then you can intervene and bring benefit. So here we understand there is something not quite right, and all the politicians and the scientists and all, everyone, this social organizations, charity organizations, they all are busy trying to fix it. And we are trying to, and it's the whole spiritual intervention is for the world, to uplift the world, to benefit the world. So what's the difference? The diagnosis is different. When we are seeing the bigger map, you understand more factors. Say, I can come with a diagnosis of some illness, but if I can see the scan and I can see the blood picture, then you are more sure what exactly is going on. From limited observations, you can't be completely sure, or at least your diagnosis can be wrong. Same here, you are seeing more factors, subtle factors. And when you are seeing subtle factors, you are saying, nothing wrong with the cloud, but there is something wrong with my attitude here. So the same here, this entire physical world, we are not saying anything wrong with it. But something is wrong with these invisible princes. They have become childish. And when they become childish, they cross the line. They cross this dotted line. But one thing to know, okay, we cross the line. That is okay, we can come behind the line. But just like in our 24 hours, day and night, it becomes midday, so much sun, strong sun, and there is midnight, completely dark. You can't even believe the same town, it goes from full light, so much going on, you can see colors and flowers, and the same world becomes so different. There is proper night and darkness. There is extreme. Things shift from extreme light to extreme darkness. Something similar happens here. At one time, these invisible princes, they were with the God and they loved by God. They experienced that bliss of the soul and experienced life with God and the company of God and that celestial celebration, celestial truth. As was said, there is no reason for even desire or disappointment. They knew the bliss of the soul. So that is life they experienced. We cross the line, it doesn't stop there. It goes into extreme darkness. And this extreme darkness presents extremely ridiculous. The journey is in ignorance. Ignorance and deception. We use the word childishness. These are all soft words. But we go into attachments and attachments so ridiculous. It is like a delusion. We literally live in the story. So that is the direction we go. So let us hear some thoughts from you first. Any comments, questions? And then after that, let us come to Mr. Diagnostico.
it's a nice recap and a positioning of the big picture, and using the image of a cloud helps a lot. One question that's just come: does the soul in the home of souls experience this bodiless stage?
Sure. When we are actually in the home, it is merged. It is all there, but experience is not immersed. But they are bodiless, and bodiless just means they are not having ego and attachments, but the things are merged. The nearest analogy is you may have lots of reason to experience peace and love and happiness. There's lots going on. But if you are asleep, you have a sweet sleep, but things get merged. It is all there, but it is merged. I don't say soul world is sleep, but in that direction.
Thank you. I hope that helps. You can confirm in the chat. So there aren't any other questions at the moment.
Sure. So let us come to this diagnosis. What is happening to this planet? And this we are using the word invisible princess. A few things. Let me use this page. First thing that has happened. Would you like to tell? What would you say? What has happened? If someone was to come, some very efficient, diagnostico, Mr. Diagnostico, consultant, what will he observe? What is happening to this amazing, invisible princess? In essence, tell what are the exact problems. Ignorance, okay. Good, very good.
Being trapped in the story.
Yes.
Sleeping, degradation, negative thoughts, madness.
Yes. Good, very good.
Drowning in the story. Forgetting who one is, one's identity.
Good, very good. So let us see, first thing, let us write here. They have got into bondage. Bondage, getting trapped, same thing. So they are into bondage, caught in the web. This whole physical world has become a web, and they are trapped. We'll see a little bit more how this bondage happens. We use the example, there is a cloud there. How do I create a bondage? The cloud is there, I'm here. It is possible I create a bondage? How do I know I have created a bondage?
You want something?
Yes, very good. Just a desire. The moment I create a desire, expectation from the cloud, already I create a bondage, which means that cloud can give me sorrow. I can create bondages in many ways, but that is good. Even just creating a desire, you are creating a bondage. So these princess, angelic princess, have created a bondage. They are trapped in this web. They don't even know they are creating bondages. They are busy creating more and more desires. So the second step, second thing that has happened, they have become unconscious. Say someone is, if someone can come to the hospital with an injury, say he meets with an accident and he's brought to the emergency department, and to begin with, there is a little confusion. If the head is there is a head injury, there is confusion. He doesn't remember certain things. He doesn't know what he was doing. That confusion is the first symptom. But as the illness progresses inside the head, for example, if there is bleeding inside the head, if it is progressing, then the next step is unconscious. He is not conscious anymore. So this, our journey, we come into ignorance, confusion. We are the one who create bondages out of confusion, cross the line. But the further step is being unconscious. So when the king himself is unconscious, what happens? The enemy becomes the king. So here the enemy, who is the enemy of the soul? Earlier, the quotation, what Sarah read, says we have no enemies. So here we are saying, who is the enemy of the soul? Yeah, I hear the word ego. That's very good. Ego and Ravan, we are meaning the same thing. He is the enemy and he becomes the king. Can you imagine? Some country is taken over by the enemy country and he has become the king in charge. He decides what should happen to your resources and to you, everything. That is a bad situation. So here, the king himself is unconscious, the soul is unconscious, and ego, so we say someone is unconscious, but he's still running and dancing and he's eating, life is going on. So someone will say, how come you say he's unconscious? Everything is going on. It is going on because Ravan is running the show. Ravan is doing everything, using the body, using time, using his mind. So Ravan has become the king. That's why you hear this language, kingdom of Ravan. It is not King Ravan somewhere there and we are, everyone's mind itself is ruled by Ravan. Baba is not very keen on democracy. Do you know why? What do you want to tell? Why Baba is not very keen on democracy? You hear this, in the language. What is Baba's reason? Baba is saying comparing with Golden Age, but
the misuse of freedom. There are too many opinions, too many voices and egos, confusion.
Yes, the reason is, in each one, there is Ravan, 10 heads of Ravan are ruling. And these 10 heads of Ravan is going for election to vote. So it is a king that is elected by 10 heads of Ravan. Ravan is choosing the best candidate. Just a joke. But the whole system, it is a Ravan's kingdom. But right at the basic level, each individual life is ruled by Ravan because the king himself is unconscious. Now, if we are planning this world benefit, world upliftment, we may have to start with ourselves here to see what is going on. The diagnosis, we are seeing the factors. Now that Ravan is the king, Ravan has appointed whom? Ravan has appointed Maya to use its cleverness to create further confusion. So this is going on. This is going on in each and every one. Maya will, all the time, Maya will tell the person, go left, go right, take the person in all other directions other than what is good for the person. And so there is a Maya. Maya's mischief, we can say. Any other situation we need to be aware of? So to bring benefit, we will have to deal with all these few hurdles. We have to address all this if we have to bring benefit. Say if there is some earthquake, you need to plan the rescue, to supplies. So you have to check if there are roads, if there is what is missing there, if there is water is missing, if food is missing, what is required, so that you can make the efficient delivery. Same here, we are seeing the factors. What else is required here?
Sometimes bring them into light.
Yes. Any other factors? We said the person himself is in the trap, is in the web, caught in the web. Next is he's unconscious. His enemy is running the kingdom, and as if no one even knows this is happening. In time, people get used to the enemy running the kingdom. That appears to be completely normal. And Maya is working efficiently for the enemy. Yeah, what else? And another big factor is society. Society is also working for Ravan because everyone is confused. They will not be saying, wow, good, you are becoming free. No, they will try to pull you consciously, unconsciously back into the web. So these are the 5 factors you need to be aware of. So let us start the process today. The first thing, the key intervention is to address one who is unconscious. Let us make him conscious. That is the key intervention. Only if he's conscious, then he becomes a helper in this process. He himself can then do things. If he's unconscious, then you could be freeing him, but he's unconscious. And there is not there are others. Maya can bring him back into the web. In this, a very useful factor to be aware of, when there is an environment of ignorance, it favors the ego. And if you create an environment of wisdom, it favors the soul. We sometimes give the example. Here you see, here, if there is one kind of season, you get daffodils. Another weather, another season, then you get weeds. Something else comes up. Same land, same garden, but you get daffodils in one situation and not something else. If one weather, you will get cactus and things like that. Another weather, you will get roses. So, yeah, if you create an environment of ignorance, then it is tough to help the soul become conscious, because that powerful, the heaviness of the environment. And what is ignorance? That's why we are sort of encouraging to keep a sketch like this and keep it in your main room. Like what happens? Environment of ignorance, this physical world becomes so important, becomes everything. The moment you make that physical world appear big, important, beautiful, precious, that is what the environment ignorance is. We are talking, it is a story and it is going to finish. Something of story, if you are giving it life, then it is ignorance. Say you go to watch some drama, Harry Potter, and you start buying land in that film, Harry Potter film, then it is ignorance. You will be deceived. You will be losing your investment. So here, no difference. That is a Harry Potter drama, and this is Potter drama. That is it is a drama. No difference. Now ask yourselves, are you investing in this? Investing your time, your attention, your powers? Do you see anything there? Then it is ignorance. So Patthar helps, Patthar intellect, stone intellect, favors the Ravan. Ravan is a king of ignorance. You need this environment of ignorance for all this department of Ravan to flourish. It is impossible for Ravan to flourish if the environment was not like this. More the ignorance, bigger the Ravan. And then you might see there are many, there are organizations that help to improve the character, improve this, change, create happiness. But they are working with Patthar intellect. Overall, ignorance is still there. That's why it is a hard work. Some try to imbibe purity also, but with Patthar intellect, that becomes difficult. Any real change will become difficult because that environment, Patthar environment, favors Ravan. And then it is a hard work. You are struggling with something, environment itself. But we have the option. What's the option? We have got the gift of Paras. In 1 second, you'll change, just like changing the glasses. You use these glasses, you are seeing now the whole thing of the story. Harry Potter, no problem to watch it, but I won't spend 1 penny there. If I want to waste, I will spend. If whatever you spend, you will waste it. So in essence, it is not worth a penny. Same applies here. This whole physical world is not worth a penny. It can crash, it can disappear any second. You are very aware of it. You are very aware of your alokik reality. Such an amazing gift. That's why not to undermine the game of the intellect. The whole thing it's a game, but it is a game of the intellect. We all have Paras. And more we use it, it will become stronger. Paras literally helps you to see what God sees. It helps you to see this complete picture. We are so used to seeing the Ravan's perspective. This appears new, but we have to start until it appears normal, natural. Understand that we all are immortal and who are immortal, their souls. That alaukic dimension becomes normal for you. You want to say anything, add anything?
Yeah, the feeling of we are so used to using pata. We have been using it so much, it's become like better the devil you know, the familiarity. And a comment was made, familiarity breeds contempt when we take things for granted. One question.
I just wanted to say, when you go to Madhuban, you see these slogans in dining room, different places, some slogans based on knowledge, about self-respect, about virtues of God. In the Ravan's kingdom, you will get a slogan, better the devil you know than the angel you don't know. Yeah, please.
You only live once.
Yes.
Lots of slogans we can think of. Question, Ravan uses Maya. What does Ram use? What helps Ram in his task?
The Ram uses you, the angels. You got knowledge and you have to use your cleverness. You need to be more clever than Maya.
A nice thought, to be cleverer than one's own Maya. Yeah. So there are no other questions coming up right now.
Yeah, sure. So here we said that this use glasses, and I use Paras glasses. And now in this environment, you are stopping ego. In this environment, any department of attachments in this Harry Potter appears absurd. That's a good sign. If any behavior of vices appears absurd, that means you are in the right space. And you are not doing it because it's a commandment, and you have to follow the commandment someone else has told you. But you yourself start seeing how mad to get into some bondage. Who would like to create a bondage to something that is changing and that is unpredictable? He can see it, and he also has power to stop it in this environment, in the Paras environment. So that also means ego becomes weaker. During those moments when Paras is in operation, you find ego appears absurd. If any bondage appears absurd, you are happy to watch that Harry Potter, to believe that that is I, that appears very strange. One discussion with one, just one example. He said he would not mind to think he's James Bond if he can have fast cars and he can, have life of James Bond. He doesn't mind to believe that he's James Bond. What does it tell you if someone says that? What is really happening? James Bond film will be for 1 hour. You believe in this, I am James Bond, and you are sort of excited about all this great, casino life of James Bond. Then what happens? Film finishes. There is no casino, no fast cars, and no James Bond either. Okay, all of that is gone. But the madness is not gone. You are left with that madness that you created in the meantime. You are stuck with it. That doesn't disappear because cars have disappeared. It doesn't mean, oh, now I can become normal. No, you are stuck with that bondage that is created. That remains, and that will latch on to anything that is around you. James Bond is not there, and some beggar is there. You will start identifying with that beggar. So right now, whether in any country, any place, if there is a beggar, he is not, saying, I want to drop this body consciousness. I want to drop this ego. Why he is not? His life is misery. Still, he is holding on to it because inner madness is brought from the past. It was the life of James Bond before. That's when the madness is created. So here you need that patthar to go into this level of madness. Here, this person was telling blatantly, he's saying this. He's not identifying, but he's saying this. But this is what we all have done. We all have crossed the line and identified with our own role in some great ego. And so we desperately need clear perspective. Without that, we can't dismantle ego. Ego is stubborn. Ego wants to survive. And ego wants to fight, whether it is Brahmin or you may be having great aspirations. You want to become free and become karmatic. But ego has its full program to get bigger. And that's why we need to change these inner factors. Ego has to be made weaker. And ego will become weaker if I see the absurdity. If I think it is all normal, just like that person feels completely happy, okay to think he's James Bond. If we are into that kind of level, ego will not just go. No one else can remove the ego. Even I cannot remove the ego if I am in that confusion. But this environment of wisdom, this is in my hand. I can create this environment. And then that is a good news, because once ego becomes weaker, let me show some ego here. If this ego becomes weaker, then as if you are allowed to go on the other side of the line. Otherwise, ego prevents you from having soul experiences. Soul to become conscious. Why it is not conscious? Because ego wants to remain conscious. Both cannot be at the same time. Ego doesn't mind to parade himself that he is very spiritual and he is soul conscious, and he takes his photograph that I'm such soul conscious person with semi-closed eyes. The ego has no problem. He is seeing himself as advanced spiritually, enlightened. The ego can adapt, but for the soul to become conscious, it's a different game. That's why we are emphasizing this. Soul, if it is mixed, then know that ego is the winner. Soul is conscious only if it is not mixed. So let us create a few minutes of experience again. In this practice, our starting position, first just creating an image. Let us say a boy by name John is acting in a school drama, and the drama is Mr. Universe, and John is acting as Mr. Universe in the school drama. And lots going on. It is like a Star Wars kind of drama. When John returns home, comes to the home of his mommy and daddy, he leaves Mr. Universe behind. He comes as John. He is happy to be with mommy and daddy and happy to be with the family. Happy to be away from Mr. Universe. He will go back. Next day, he will go back in that drama. But right now, he wants to enjoy the life with mommy, daddy, silence, and sweetness of the family. In the same way, here, right now, what we are seeing here, this is the drama. In this drama, there's Prashant talking, and there is a technology and computers and everything that is going on. This is the drama going on. And the invisible actor chooses to step behind all this. Comes to the home of mommy and daddy. Happy to be in the silence of this home. Paras helps. It is whole thing in the environment of Paras. Happy to be just at point. He is leaving behind Mr. Universe behind. Comes behind as just a point. Happy to be free from that, from the drama. Happy to be with the true family. They all are in the image of points. All this rank and hats and stripes, they are all necessary for the drama. Masks and corona mask, all these are necessary for the drama. Behind, they are just the points, and they're happy to be these points. Happy to be in that sweetness of the family. True family here. Happy to experience the solitude of this home. Complete solitude. Aware of the big drama that is available. When he chooses, he goes in the drama. But right now, happy to be in the complete freedom from that. Experience the stillness of the home. And experience his life with his father. And father is also in the image of a point. He plays the hero part in the drama. He plays the part. He uplifts all the souls of the world. He is worshipped by half the world worships him, but he remains free from the whole thing. Wisdom is in this. He is happy with the simplicity of the point. He is not the role. That is very clear to him. We grasp this simplicity of all hero actors and other actors. They all are in that awareness of being just the point. Happy to be sensible. Otherwise, you can be drawn into the drama and doesn't want to come back home. Here, at least we are able to experience the home and happy to be in this simplicity that is being sensible. And when he does choose to come back in the drama, he comes with enthusiasm and with security, because he knows the drama may come to an end. Drama, many things happen in the drama, you go up and down, but he knows his reality behind the drama. He knows the drama is drama. He is not deceived. He remains sensible and so enthusiastic, secure when acting. He wins both worlds. Thank you. So you can take a scenario, someone, your friend or your relation, your son, acting in a Star Wars drama. And after some time, he doesn't want to come home, get so carried away by this, excitement of the Star Wars. So it finds the home as too boring. It is not a good news. It means he's getting into delusion. World Health Organization uses a new term, the computer games. It is creating an addiction, but it is not just staying an addiction, it is creating an emotional disconnect. They go in the direction where they are emotionally disconnected with their world because they are getting drawn in the computer game more and more. So it has become an officially recognized diagnosis connected with computer games. The same phenomenon. We are caught in this game, so when more you get drawn into this game, then you are not interested in your home. You are emotionally disconnected. And this is what has happened. Now we are using Paras to reconnect with our true home, true family, true father, and the true self. Otherwise, it is not a success. It is you lose both worlds. If someone is drowning in the honey pot, he loses honey pot also. So we are in that state. Any thoughts? Anyone want to add?
Yes, thank you. This was a little earlier, and I think you have answered it, but at times, even after knowing what Maya is and what it is not, how come we still, well, we may still lose to Maya? And you answered it, I think, when you said to see ego as ridiculous, but do you want to add anything?
Yes, something that we mentioned, create an environment of light, and it gathers momentum. We say in 1 second, see the paras. But more you start using it, it will get more refined, and light will continue to increase. You will see in more and more clarity. Right company is good. Environment that promotes paras, that is good. Then to some level, as far as possible, don't expose yourselves to patthar influences. All the films that are available, they are not made by Parasnath. They are made for Ravan. Most of the films, I feel. So certain environment promotes patthar, and they are made for Ravan. So avoid certain environment, certain company. We need to be a little cautious until we get momentum and you are in the safe area. We have to be cautious.
So that kind of leads to the next question. As everyone around me, family and friends, are in Ravan mode, keeping paras strong is hard. Is it my weakness? Actually, yeah, any thoughts on it?
The past is whatever it is. We have now the option to create, make ourselves strong. We all are strong because all are angelic princes. We just need to do the right thing.
Yes, clear, thank you. So one definition, could you say meditation is the way for the soul to go back to its home and then come back to the drama feeling secure, sensible, and enthusiastic?
We can say, at least for us, to come in the truth, not necessarily home, to come in the line. Behind the line is you are in truth. Across the line is ignorance. So you may be here in the drama, but you are in truth. You are aware of the home, at least. You are acting on the stage, but it is drama, Mr. Universe drama going on. Then whether you call it yoga state, but you are yogi.
Yes, by regular meditation, this is how we can maintain our true identity. So, comment here. Yesterday I said to Baba, this role is boring while interacting with my son. What does it mean for paras intellect when we get into these different feelings whilst playing our roles?
More paras we are, you are enjoying the whole drama. That like, any actor, he may be acting a part, but it is a part. He knows, he doesn't say my part should be different. You may be playing the part of the camel, as someone is playing the part of the elephant. You don't say my part should be elephant. You said one part is as good as any other, but you are enjoying the whole drama. The director might say, next time you play the part of the elephant. You say, sure, okay, I'll do my best in this drama part. But you want to make the whole thing good. You will give advice to those who are playing other parts, how they should do, so that the whole drama becomes good. So paras is like that. You don't mind what part it is, because you know the reality beyond. You are seeing the bigger map. Any group dance, they are not saying my dance. They are just having the perspective of seeing what others are, where are they? And they want to be, the whole performance should be good rather than just my dance. It should be, it is not just my dance, it is a dance of the group. Paras is like that. He is able to see the bigger orchestra. I'll tell just one other image, something that is useful for us. We used this story in the past, and the story is insect in a farm. You heard this story, but just a reminding. Insect is on the back of a pig. He finds a patch of mud, very impressed with the land he has found. Eagle tells him, do you want to come? Do you want to see the sky? Do you want to be the eagle? But he says, no, I found this land. I'm impressed with this land. How can I let go of this land? This is not a time to let go. But I want to look into this sky. Come next week. So eagle comes next week. Do you want to come to the sky? He says, now I found more land. I can't go. But next week. Eagle comes again next week. Do you want to come to the sky? He says, now I got some cracks in my land. So I myself need help. So I don't want to come to the sky. This story is very useful to us. It gives us these two options, and very relevant. The insect, he has ideas of progress and success and happiness, excitements. It is full of life of the insect. But the eagle will never choose to be that insect. As long as insect has nothing to compare, just caught in that. That is its idea of progress. Maybe biting other insects. That is what is going on. And think that he's achieving something. Completely different option. The shift of consciousness. You are seeing things differently. This is literally what is happening. When we are using the word paras and soul consciousness, the game is a different game. What game are you playing? Insect game, or are you playing the eagle game? We need to be aware of. When you are playing the eagle game here, you are discovering this dimension of truth, as opposed to that ignorance and delusion. You are in truth. Your life is with God. life. It is not worshiping God and statue of God. Life is with God, loved by God. You are discovering world of immortality. You are discovering the mind that there is no reason for desire and disappointments. This whole department, anything inauspicious, there is no reason for it. We are using the word angel, deity. That mind is different. When the mind has no drop of poison, that mind knows the bliss of the soul. And you are discovering this celestial celebration. So the whole game is different game. It is not a long process. It is like Baba likes this expression. 1 second. We start now. Start with Paras. Once we understand these options, then we know what we are offering to the world. It is not a slightly little benefit. They make a slightly better life. No, game itself is a different game. In one Murli Baba said, okay, you want to help. What would you give? If you are a donor, would you give pounds, penny, or golden guineas? So you have the option to make others into eagle. That is the option. They can be slightly more successful. Insect also. That is one level of help. But other completely different thinking. That's you understand the game and you are understanding they are from the sky. They have the option to discover the sky and discover the ego. Starting from ourselves. So I know it is time for rooms, whatever is the plan.
Yes, thank you. Before that, we have a question for you, a couple of questions. So on your screen, if you're co-host, you don't need to do it. Is this your first advanced retreat post-Sanjeevani? If you're not able to answer for technical reasons, don't worry, you can write a private message in the chat if you wish. Just another few moments. Meanwhile, Prashant can think about a question for room discussion. Okay, another few moments. Thank you. So I'll just share with you, 22% said yes, 78 no. Great. And another question, how many Sanjeevani sessions have you listened to either live or via recording? So all 10, which is the foundation, and then the follow-up between 7 and 9, and neither of the above. Now you're getting expert at this. Okay, another few seconds. Okay, very nice. Thank you so much. Just sharing with you, 81% said all 10 sessions, about 20% between 7 and 9, and 7% neither of the above. Great, thank you. Okay, Prashant, what is the focus you would like to give to the discussions now?
How to discover the eagle and how to help others discover the eagle.
Thus being the real benefit. Okay. How to discover the eagle for ourselves. So yes. So now most of us are familiar, but we create around 10 or 15 minutes to share in small groups of around 10 people. And if you are able to come into camera, then that's great. And giving chance for everyone to share if there's time. And if you're in the wrong group for your language, there's a help button and we'll try to put it right. Or you can leave the room and put a message in the main chat. So enjoy. If you take a break, then do come back for hearing our special guest and more chance for practice and questions. See you soon. Hello, warm welcome back. I hope we didn't cut your conversation prematurely. And just a nice moment to pause before we continue with the session. We'll take a minute together. Thank you. And just a reminder for the translators, you will need to unmute now you're back from the room. So I'd like to very warmly welcome our speaker who's joining us from Israel, and it will be lovely to hear your reflections and what's coming up for you. So just bear in mind the translators when you're sharing regarding the speed. A warm welcome.
Om Shanti. Is the voice okay, Sarah? Sound is good?
I think it's good. Yes.
Good.
It's good.
So, yeah, it was very interesting discussion in this room. Of course, we spoke about this eagle and his wings. And realization is that one needs a proof that he has wings. And as most of you probably know, this one got a big chance in Israel to test his wings. Probably you've heard about this war with the Palestinians, rockets here, rockets there, sirens here, sirens there, and apparently this one lives not far from the zone, the war zone itself, and the middle of the night, sirens and rockets flying, and you hear the bombs and you run for the shelter, and you hear screaming and dogs shouting and barking, and finally, and suddenly you find that you yourself, surprisingly peaceful, and this is kind of acknowledge for the self that yes, those practices, those this knowledge now is on your side naturally. I mean, this one didn't have to do anything to bring himself to a peace. Just watching what's going on as a scene on a screen, drama, and acting its role, going down to the shelter with the rest, and that's it. And coming back after it finishes. So the question was at the room, what brings that kind of stage, that kind of feelings, what to practice? And one point that was said by Prashant before the rooms, that when you really accept and understand and see drama as a drama, so separate from the real world, you start feeling that everything in the drama becomes ridiculous. And when those feelings start to emerge here, then this one understands that something is instilled in the intellect, meaning that like a strong scene at work, strong scenes in the street. You look at them, check your feelings and see no impact. You still stay calm. So you understand something is there that becomes natural nature. And this is very, very good to know that as more as you practice, the more you become, it becomes a nature for you. And you have full marks on those tests that come to show you where you are at. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. There's nothing like experience. And, you know, Prashant said, whatever we did in the past is the past, but whatever we're learning now, we are accumulating such a power in this, seeing drama as a drama and not having those expectations when it's a drama. And then, as you were saying, it becomes your natural response. The drama is ridiculous and no difficult feelings, and illustrated in your example so clearly. So I took a lot of courage actually from what you were saying. And yes, in the chat responses, thank you for sharing how you were able to use your wings in these trying times. And very profound based on experience. There is a message in Chinese. We will translate shortly. Thank you so much. I'm going to welcome back Prashant. Thank you.
And thank you to Sanjay. And let us come back again, attention. On the one hand, this we are detaching. Our whole game is removing ego and stepping back. But more we step back, we are able to appreciate the physical world in an extraordinary way. That's why this whole physical world becomes a big gift for the soul that is conscious. So he wins both worlds. He wins the sky, he also wins the earth. And who would lose both worlds? The only factor is confusion. It can happen. Some children can get into such a situation. They can't enjoy the toy. They can't enjoy their life, not the play, if there is confusion. So we are defining our diagnosis, what exactly is wrong. And we are seeing how precious it is to getting on the right side of the line. But on the right side of the line, one who can ever be, he has to be conscious. The ego also uses the language, yes, let us be soul conscious. To be aware of it. It is not occasional, it will be persistent. Ego will come. And your success is to get the soul conscious. How do you know? The soul is seeing himself independent from the whole story, whole thing. There is not one corner within that story that is something special or different. And nothing matters in the story. That is the perspective of the soul that is conscious. If for him, the story may finish this moment, and that is okay for him. So we are using the language detachment, freedom, independence. If we are going for that, let us go for complete independence. It is with that complete independence that you discover what it means to be free. You discover the sky. Internally, the feeling that nothing from the physical world can ever harm anyone, anywhere. The words, actions, story is harmless. Whole world is worried about the story. All sorrows are because of the story. And you find the story is harmless. then it is, you are in the soul space. Soul is conscious. And if you feel story itself is harmless, there is nothing else in the universe that can harm you. That's right. Carefree. Harmless. Story is harmless. You are beyond harm. In an absolute way. Not even the slightest harm can ever come. What you are, you remain forever. And from this space, just you seeing this truth of others, you are seeing that same thing applies to everyone. All are souls, all are immortal, and all are good, they are noble, innately good. You are seeing this. That is the most precious help. It is like shining light on this truth. As we said, our real issue for the world is confusion. They are not seeing who they are, what they got, what they have. They are not seeing. You have the option, we have the option to shine light. Global and local, which means we see the supreme reality where all souls, the family of souls, all good, they are from the family of God. You are just seeing this. This we call lighthouse effect. Lighthouse stage. If light is shining, then it becomes easy for others to see it also. So our attention is like light. When I'm seeing this great truth in anyone, normally our attention is at the drama level. So you are seeing the angelic soul associated with the body and the role. Even for 10 seconds, that is like creating light. And in Baba's language, the language of the soul reaches the soul. The language of the words might stop at the ears, but language of the soul reaches the soul. The language of the heart reaches the heart. So you can be very sure of this. And you are not going into the discussion, but guaranteed results. And something of this kind we can start from now. Global and local. More we experiment, we can only get better as with anything. Option. Happy to hear any comments or questions.
Yes, thank you. A question from the Chinese group. We know we still have to play a role in this drama, such as the need to accompany our Lokik family. Wouldn't it be a waste of time if we clearly knew this was a play in the drama? Is the question clear?
Waste of time. What you understood? Exact question.
Well, yes, maybe it's like, I guess we identify with the feelings of others in the family, and by saying it's the story, we also get the feeling of it. For ego, it reduces the significance, and that is difficult for ego to accept because we're saying it's just a story. I think the question is about how to reconcile the role that we play while seeing that it is a film and taking responsibility.
Sure. You know, what is important for us is to know the truth. If it is a story, we might as well know it is a story. Then we are more useful to the real people. In this case, the real people are the souls. So when I am so caught in the story, I ignore completely the real world and the real family, completely ignore. So I am not useful in a real sense. So priority and our whole emphasis is, let us first know the clear truth about the whole thing. And if it is a story, well be it. Let us go to the story. If it's a play, let us play the game. And let us play the game well. But you know what you are doing. When you know the truth, you are not deceived, and there will be no regrets. Also from the family, if you know the fact clearly, then at the end of the day, everyone will be grateful to you. If your starting position is false, then everyone is a loser.
Thank you. I think that will be very helpful, and look forward to hearing the reflections on it. So a further question was, don't we need to choose Ram genre movies instead of Ravan genre movies if this is a film?
Then you understood, Sarah, the question?
Yes, if this is a film, then we should be not choosing Ravan scenes. We would surely, we are here to enjoy if it's a film. So you would want to watch the scenes with Ram or benevolence or soul conscious scenes. I think this is the aim, isn't it? So I don't know if you want to clarify that this is in the context of what you are sharing.
Sure.
Is it clearer?
In a film, any film that you are watching, there will be, Cinderella, there will be ugly sister, and it is okay. There will be hero and there will be villain. There will be dragons and there will be angels. That is the way drama is, and it is all you truly don't mind. But Ravan, true Ravan, is subtle. Everything of our soul is incognito, Ravan is incognito, Ram is incognito. That is at another level. Game is going on. And that we have to recognize and we have to win.
Thank you. If the story is harmless, but we experience pain under the influence of Ravan, how is the story then absolutely harmless? Does Ravan not harm the soul by depleting it of its power?
Yeah, sure. As we gave the example before, there is a cloud here, and cloud comes and cloud goes. One can say that cloud is harmless, but I create attachment to the cloud, and I cry that cloud, promised it will be here and it will go. It is all in my head. The sorrow is coming because of me, not because of the cloud. And so to know this, that the story, the whole thing, including destruction and death, it is harmless. But the souls, we can create such a confusion within us, ourselves, that we take sorrow and more sorrow for nothing. It also tells us that we have the option to become so free that anything can happen in the story, and you have got complete freedom, that you can't get into the slightest sorrow because of the story. Deities, the quality of the deities, they don't take sorrow for any reason. Then you are ready for golden age. Like in the non-violence of Gandhi and all, don't give sorrow. But non-violence of deities and angels don't take sorrow. Don't give sorrow, also don't take sorrow. Don't take even the slightest sorrow.
Yeah, that's the key. And the follow-up clarification is, so you're saying it means the story can't harm us, but we can harm ourselves by taking sorrow. Is this correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And maybe a quick question. I know we've come to time. Creating thoughts in soul consciousness, is this the language of souls?
Yeah, sounds right. Seeing things from that perspective, to be awake. Yeah, it sounds right.
Okay. Just coming back to the question from the Chinese group, I think the question was more around physical films. Should we go and see a film with our family, or is that a waste of time?
What is the answer to this? Depends upon which film it is. There are other ways I can give company to the people in the family rather than watching films. I personally feel films of the present time, they will always have an element of some material for Ravan. So they are not good for you, not good for people in the family either. I feel most of the films. So there are other ways to give company.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your feelings on this. So we have come to time, and it's really nice to have this idea of a reflection or a kind of notional homework. If you would like to share any inspiration.
I might encourage to go through those, we use the word diagnostico. Mr. Diagnostico is seeing what exactly is wrong with this planet Earth, and try and go through some things we spoke about, see if there are any other things. If with spiritual glasses, if you have to see what are the things that are wrong. I like this Einstein's statement. If there is a problem to solve, and if he has got 1 hour, he will spend 55 minutes to understand the problem. Once you understand, it is easy to solve. So we are here trying to understand the problem of this planet Earth. Then you can be world benefactor. So let us create that time, and as you are observing, your answer automatically becomes clear. Sometimes it is good to take paper, pencil, and draw sketches and create a mind map. So it will be very nice to hear your reflections.
Yes, looking forward to that. You can show your mind map and the camera as well, if you like, tomorrow. So thank you. Thanks so much to everyone, and enjoy your diagnosis experience, and see you tomorrow. Thank you.